If seen from a satellite at Utah National Park in the United States of America, something blue can be seen here. If you zoom in a little closer, you can see a wonderful view in the middle of the canyons. There are around 23 pools of blue, yellow, and green color, which enhance the beauty of this place immensely. But in this wilderness, where all the mountains and rocks are brown, what are these beautiful blue ponds doing? Is this a secret NASA project or a swimming pool? In fact, its real purpose is much more interesting and surprising than that. To understand this beautiful blue pond, we have to go back 1,500 years to when humans first discovered a unique chemical element with the help of bonfires. Yes, the same bonfire that we burn in winter to keep ourselves warm. The method is simple. Just set some wood on fire, but this time not for heat, but for the ashes. We will put this ash in a pot and add some water to it, because there are many chemical compounds in ash, but some dissolve in water and make the color of water something like this. Now we will filter this water and put it to dry in the sun. When the water evaporates, some crystals will be left behind. It is a chemical element that has been used by humans for centuries, and because it is made with the help of a pot and ashes, it is named potash. Earlier, people used this potash to make soap, dye clothes, and also used potash in the production of glass products. As animal fat is melted and potash is added to it, it becomes liquid soap. Similarly, in the production of glass, adding potash lowers the melting point of the glass and makes it much easier to shape. With the growing human population, the demand for potash increased so much that by 1788, thousands of factories were built for the production of potash. In these factories, only wood was burned to collect the ash. In 1790, an inventor named Samuel Hopkins invented a new method of producing potash, in which potash was made by heating the potash liquid in the furnace rather than sun. With this new method, the production of potash took less time. It was the first patent in American history that was signed by the first American president, George Washington himself. Due to this patent, potash got a lot of fame and different scientists started doing different experiments on it, but among them all there was one experiment that was going to change the world forever. A few years after the patent was signed, in 1807, a scientist named Humphrey Davy poured moist potash into a pot and gave it current from the battery. He noticed little metal balls forming in the potash, and the next moment they suddenly exploded. Humphrey Davy discovered a new element, but what was the name of this element? Now, because it was derived from potash, Humphrey named it potassium. When most people hear the name potassium, they think of apricots, raisins, and bananas. Of course, these fruits are a good source of potassium for humans, but they do not contain pure potassium. Pure potassium is highly reactive. It reacts with almost anything. As in Humphrey's experiment, potassium reacted with water vapor in the air and exploded. Therefore, pure potassium is kept immersed in oil so that it does not react with the water vapor in the air. By using its byproducts, so many things are being made in the world today that if you count them, this video might be short. From batteries to fertilizers and from glass to gunpowder, potassium has become a global necessity. When potash is added to animal dung, it forms potassium nitrate, which is an important ingredient in gunpowder and firecrackers. After Humphrey's discovery, many things were made from potash, but the biggest problem was the production of potash itself, because even after Humphrey's discovery, it was being prepared by burning wood. Due to the increase in demand, it reached the point where entire forests in Europe and the United States began to be cut down. And this thing had become the biggest threat to the environment. Then in 1861, Germany invented a new method of potash production. He was inside a special kind of stone, and these stones were abundant in Germany. The new discovery of Germany proved to be very beneficial. In this way, not only would the production of potash be cheaper, but it would also save trees. Now they had so much potash that they started throwing it here and there. From which its new benefits came out, it was noticed that the crop was growing very quickly by throwing potash on the ground, even with less water. Many farmers had a huge problem of water, but by adding potash, the crop flourished even in less water. Within a few years, Germany became the #1 exporter of potash. In 1910, just 4 years before World War I, when the whole world had become dependent on German potash, Germany made its first attack by stopping the export of potash. America suffered the most from this German attack. At the same time, Congress released funds to find domestic sources of potash in the United States. One location to locate the source was near Moab City in Utah. But the problem was that the potash rocks were not on the surface, but 3,500 feet below the ground. At first, the USA dug mines here, and the potash rocks were brought out from 3,500 feet below. Everything was going well, but an accident happened in 1963, which changed everything. Methane gas leaked inside a mine, dug for potash, and ignited after contact with an open flame. The potash mine shook with a loud explosion. 18 miners lost their lives in this tragic accident. The very next year, a Canadian mining company invented a new method of extracting potash from the ground. They drilled a shaft down to 3,500 feet in Utah and added pressurized water to it. Deposits of potash were mixed with this water, and then from another shaft, the water came up and was filled into a pound. These are the pounds that we can see today in different colors. If you are thinking that the blue color of these ponds is due to potash, you are wrong. Copper sulfate is added to the water to make it blue so that standing water does not have bacterial growth. And because the blue color attracts more sunlight, it also accelerates evaporation. The heat of the sun evaporates these ponds and leaves behind pure potash. This location in Utah has a total of 23 pounds spread over an area of 400 acres, and each pound takes about 6 to 8 months to evaporate. As the water evaporates, these ponds turn from blue to green and then yellow. Finally, potash is left in the form of white crystals, which is loaded into trucks and shipped. Potash has been used by humans for centuries, and since centuries it has been the major earning source of man. According to an estimate, there are 2 billion tons of potash underground in Moab City. The price of 1 ton is $330. That is, only this location can earn $660 billion to America. Hope you like this video. Be sure to like and share the video. Thank you so much for your love.